Who would win in a fight, 5,000 ants or a massive locust 100 times the size of an ant? In this video, I gave my 5,000 ant army different challenges ranging from easy to hard, and we're going to see if they can take down each challenge. Will they be able to fight through the challenges I give them, or will they come face to face with their limit? Now before we can give them the challenges, I need to set up their arena and eventually the nest, which will be guarded by a cricket stopping them from getting home. Luckily, Ants HQ sent me out a package full of supplies to make sure I can do this. In the box was some tubing, which they'll use to cross into the different stage. There was then also some live prey, like some flies, which are not hard by themselves, but in numbers, they will overwhelm the ants. They also gave us some random supplies, like sugar water and different types of prey, like armor beetles that can only be taken down from underneath. And most importantly, the nest, which is where they will call home. That's if they can reach it. But of course, the most important part is the ants, and in these two tubes are thousands of tiny ants waiting to get out. Now, before we let the ants out, let's quickly fill the arena with some sand. And yeah, that's literally it, just pouring some sand. Yep, exciting stuff. Once I filled the arena with some sand, it was time to add the thousands of ants into the arena. I placed the tubes down, removed the barrier, and after removing it, I then struggled to remove the other one. But I eventually had it, and now I put the thousands of ants into the arena where they'll fight all of their upcoming challenges. I gave them a few hours before giving them their first challenge, which will be fruit flies. But not just one or two flies, I'm putting in quite a lot to see how they will group up and take down this many at once. So, release the flies into the arena. As soon as I added the flies, the ants went into attack mode. You can see the group of ants starting to form together. As all the workers were fighting the flies, you can see the queen also come over to help out in the fight against them. It was crazy to see how well all of the ants were doing against this many flies, considering they've just been added to their new home. Each fly was completely swarmed by hundreds of ants stinging and biting into them. But this was nothing compared to their upcoming challenges. Like a single bug 100 times the size of a single ant, which honestly might be impossible to take down. With their first challenge being complete with ease, I thought it would be time to give them the second challenge, this time being something extremely fast, armoured, and a lot bigger than a fly. This challenge would be a red runner roach. Now what happens next is not what I expected at all. I slowly lured in the next prey, and within a second of putting the roach in, all of the ants swarmed it. The roach managed to run a little bit, but after a while, the roach was getting pulled into a cluster of ants. Not only that, but the roach fell on its back, exposing its weakness. There's only armor on the top of the bug, which means it was pretty much over for the roach. And as time passed, the ants completely swarmed the bug. But just when you thought it was over, a burst of energy and a final attempt of escaping came from the bug. The roach managed to get further away, but again was completely swarmed by hundreds of the ants stinging and biting away at him. I'm surprised at how much the ants struggled, considering it was only one roach, which made me really doubtful for the next challenge. It was time to prepare the second stage, which would be their nest. Now, of course, this being my channel, we can't let them get this new stage that easy. To get this new nest, they would have to defeat the boss that was guarding it, this time being a cricket. But not just any cricket. This cricket is pretty big compared to what they've seen before, and black crickets are known to bite back and put up a fight. So this will be really interesting. But remember, this isn't going to be their hardest challenge. After placing the cricket in the new nest, I made sure to lock him in there so that he can't escape, and the ants won't escape too. But before I can let the ants try to get into the nest, I need to give the cricket this super juice, which will make the cricket much stronger. I'm just kidding. I'm literally just going to use this to fill the block with water to give the nest humidity. It was now time to connect the tube from the arena to the nest and see how the ants take down this boss waiting for them. After adding the tube, the ants slowly started to swarm around the entrance of it. Were hundreds or thousands of ants about to storm the nest, not knowing what's waiting for them? No, not really. Only a few ants started to go through the tube. The ants were very hesitant to go into the nest alone, so they waited right at the entrance for some more ants to arrive to help scope out the area. But one brave ant named Jim decided he was going to explore this new nest alone. The cricket moved closer to the ants, and out of the shadow of the cricket, Jim came out from under the cricket. Does Jim know he's an ant? Jim the ant then started to climb on top of the boss, and the cricket was starting to get unhappy that the ant wanted to use him as a personal horse. Then Jim had enough and started to bite the cricket's leg, and before Jim could do anything, he got thrown away at 100 miles per hour, never to be seen again. Yeah, this was going to be a challenge to take down. Can we have a RIP Jim in the comments? As some time passed, news got out of Jim's death and more ants started to enter the nest. Slowly the ants started to confront the cricket, with one of the ants biting the cricket's leg and getting thrown away like Jim. Maybe this was Jim and he thought it was a game? Either way, the cricket started to get angry, and before I could record this part, the cricket for some reason stormed the main area, where thousands of ants started to swarm him. The cricket had no chance, especially because he went in the arena upside down, which was an interesting choice. As time passed, the ants had fully taken over the cricket and swarmed it completely. I gave the ants a few days to rest before giving them their final challenge. You can see they finally moved into the new nest and made themselves feel at home, with some ants even carrying parts of the crickets, like a leg, through the nest to be used as fuel over the next coming weeks. But to prepare them for the next battle, I wanted to give them something sweet to help them gain energy and reset. And for that, I put down a little bowl and put some sugar water into it. Now, at the start, only a few ants seemed to be interested in the sugar, but as time passed, more and more ants started to surround it, and before I knew it, the bowl was completely covered in ants. They clearly needed the sugar water, and with good reason. I was about to give them their hardest challenge yet. I slowly lowered in the last challenge. Yeah, I'm not sure they're going to be able to do this, but sometimes in the wild, they would come across bugs like this, sometimes even bigger. After adding the locust, it started to jump around. The ants started to grab onto the locust to put more weight on it to stop it from jumping. Maybe Jim was there considering how much he loved getting thrown away at 100 miles an hour. As time passed, you can see the ants start to bunch up and clump together, making it harder for the locust to jump. This went on for a while, but the ants slowly started to control the locust and stop it from jumping. The locust was clearly losing this battle. I left for a while and came back to the locust being overturned. It seemed like the ants had somehow managed to defeat this massive prey, which honestly, I'm really surprised that they managed this. But the ants also lost some of their own trying to defeat the locust. You can see some of the ants pick up the fallen and move them around to different areas, creating an ant graveyard. And with that, the ants had defeated all their challenges. What challenges would you like to see next? Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.